She barged past an old man, smirked in my face, and threw her stuff onto my counter like she owned the place. I was ready to let it go until she said one sentence that made my blood boil. 10 minutes later, I handed her exactly what she deserved, served with the sweetest smile she's ever seen. If you've ever had someone cut in front of you and act like you don't matter, this one's for you. Get ready for one of the most satisfying doses of instant karma you'll hear today. Here's the expanded narrative, still the same incident, but with rich scene detail, character psychology, and pacing so it's emotionally immersive for a 15 to 20-minute read aloud. The store was breathing like a living thing that day. You know that sound, the low hum of refrigerators, the constant beep of scanners, the shuffle of carts across tile. It was late afternoon, just the time when the after-work crowd starts streaming in and the lines snake back toward the aisles. I'd been second cashier on call, leaning slightly against the counter of my closed register, watching the ebb and flow of customers. I'd been doing this long enough to read the crowd like a book, who's impatient, who's lost in thought, who's mentally counting coupons. I didn't mind the job. The rhythm of scanning items and the mechanical beep could almost be meditative when people were polite. But politeness, well, it's not always in season. My headset crackled. Register 2. Open up. I straightened, smoothed the front of my apron, and stepped forward to the empty register. My first move was always the same: catch the eye of the next customer in the other line and gesture. A silent professional. Follow me, I'll take you here. The person at the front of that other line was an older man, mid-70s maybe. White hair combed neatly back, hands steady as he began to gather his groceries from the belt where he'd already placed them. He moved with the kind of deliberate slowness that wasn't hesitation, just life at his own pace. I liked people like him. The kind that made eye contact. The kind that said thank you and meant it. I lifted my chin in his direction, smiled, and gestured for him to come over. And then she happened. I didn't see her at first. She moved fast, almost like she'd been coiled up behind him, waiting for the moment. She swept past him in 3 brisk steps, her cart's front wheel bumping his. She barely looked at him, just gave this quick, sharp tisk sound, as if he were in her way. Then, without hesitation, she tossed a fistful of items onto my conveyor belt. No pause. No, is this okay? Just a territorial claim, like this register was hers now. The old man froze mid-motion, half-turned toward me, still holding a carton of eggs in one hand. His eyes flicked from her to me, and then back again, confusion wrinkling his brow. I kept my voice calm. Professional. Ma'am, I was actually calling the gentleman here. He was next in line. She didn't even blink. Instead, she turned her head slightly toward me, not fully, and said, clear as glass, life is for the quick ones. Her tone carried this smug self-assurance, as if she'd just uttered some profound life philosophy. The smirk was barely there, but it was enough. She looked down at her items as if the conversation was over. The old man's eyes met mine. He gave this small, weary smile, half amusement, half resignation, and waved his hand as if to say, it's fine. Let it go. I wanted to argue. I wanted to tell her that being quick didn't excuse being rude. That respect mattered. That there were rules, not just store policy but basic human decency. But the old man's quiet grace stopped me. He didn't seem hurt, just above it. So, I took a deep breath, forced my jaw to unclench, and began scanning her items. She paid in cash. A crisp banknote. I counted her change quickly, my fingers moving by muscle memory, and had it ready to hand over when she froze mid-reach. Oh, wait, she said, rummaging through her oversized purse. I might have exact change, so I don't get so many coins back. She started digging, keys clinking, receipts crumpling. That's when the thought hit me. The phrase came back, sharp in my mind. Life is for the quick ones. I looked at the coins in my hand, looked at her, and something in me decided, politely, professionally, but without question, that she was about to taste her own medicine. I didn't wait for her to find the right coins. I placed the change, firmly but not harshly, right in front of her on the counter. And I smiled. The kind of smile you'd see on a customer service poster.
warm.
Perfectly friendly. Life is for the quick ones, I said softly, almost like it was just a helpful reminder. Her head snapped up. For a second, her eyes widened. Surprised-eyed repeated her own words. Then the expression tightened. No smirk now. Her jaw set, lips pressed thin. She grabbed the change, shoved it into her purse without counting, and swept her items off the belt in one sharp motion. No goodbye. No thank you. As she walked away, I felt a subtle shift beside me. The old man, still waiting patiently, lifted his hand, curled his fingers into a thumbs up, and gave me this knowing nod. No words, just that gesture. And it was worth more than any apology she could have given. She came in thinking speed was power. She left reminded that manners travel faster than arrogance. And in those few seconds, I got to see the smirk vanish from her face and the quiet satisfaction in a stranger's eyes. Sometimes, the sweetest revenge isn't loud. It's calm, it's controlled, and it leaves the other person realizing they just got served, politely. Karma doesn't always need a big stage. Sometimes it only needs a cash register. If that made you smile, hit like and drop your own instant karma story in the comments. And if you want more satisfying revenge moments just like this one, make sure to subscribe because we've got plenty more where that came from.